coming to you from an unknown location, at the foothills of the Appalachian Mountains, bringing you the unknown. Welcome to another spine-tingling episode of Paranormal 411. Your hosts are David Reagan and Jason Scott, and together, they dive headfirst into the mysteries that lurk just beyond our understanding, featuring notable experts ready to share their insights into the world of the strange and unknown. So pull up a chair, pour a cup of something warm, and prepare to be enthralled. Here at Paranormal 411, we're not just a radio show, we're a community of truth seekers, adventurers of the mind, exploring the boundaries of the known and unknown. We invite you to join us, to share your thoughts, your experiences, your questions. Whether you've had your own encounter with the supernatural or you're simply intrigued by the inexplicable, we want to hear from you. So, don't be shy. Drop a comment and let's unravel the mysteries of the universe together. Buckle up as we journey beyond the veil of the ordinary, into the heart of the extraordinary. This is Paranormal 411, where the inexplicable meets reality and imagination takes flight. Stay tuned and remember, in the world of the paranormal, nothing.
All right.
Well, we're here.
Finally.
Yep.
David's computer still ain't working.
Yeah, it's
Chip
been
chop.
spinning for 20 minutes or 30 minutes now.
Yeah, I think you just should do a hard reset.
Probably needs one. Probably wouldn't hurt. New hard drive probably wouldn't hurt either.
So, hello, Homestead Trucker.
What's up? How you doing?
Tonight we're going to be talking about some UFOs and UAPs and stuff.
Yes, we're going to talk about yesterday. They up on the hill had another nice round of talks about the UAPs and UFOs for those of us that don't like to say UAP, because I think it's ignorant. But but either way it goes, we're going to talk a little bit about that.
Hello, Michelle.
I think there were some pretty interesting things that were said. I'd like to know how many people have actually, watched the whole 2 hours, because I did. It was really interesting, really cool. A lot of insightful things, I could say. I mean, they actually came in and asked a lot of stuff like, do you know if there was biologics? And do we have crash retrieval programs? Things like that. It's pretty neat. Yeah, well, I don't think I'm going to get a new computer. I'd get a new hard drive before I got a new computer. Homestead Trucker does all the Apple stuff.
No.
He's an Apple guy.
Well, I need you to help me with my iPad then.
Yeah, he probably could.
Yeah, Congress said something.
Yes, they did. It was interesting. It was an interesting 2 hour conversation that they had with a few people. My computer might be turning back on. So, but we're going to go over a little bit of that and talk about some of the highlights that all four, what Luis Elizondo and some of the others said while in there. Mr. Gold, he worked for NASA.
Yep.
And so there's some pretty interesting things that was said that was, I don't know, for those of us who are in this all the time, maybe not so eye-opening, but then you got to think of it in the way that now it's in the records though, and there is things that goes on during it that's frustrating. Like they'll ask them a question and they said, well, I can't really tell you that, but I can in a skiff. And there's a lot of that.
Yeah.
Especially from Luis Elizondo. But it was interesting. Very interesting. But so that's just some of the stuff that we're going to be talking about. Whoa. Did my phone just ring? I have a missed call from somebody. Don't know who. It could stay missed. Jason, you have anything to say?
No, you're going to do the...
I'm going to do that. Yes. I was just making sure. So, remember, you can catch us at paranormal411.org, Paranormal 411 on Facebook, YouTube, and X. We are live every Tuesday and Thursday nights from 7 to 8 p.m. usually, not 7:45 to 8 p.m.
Yeah.
Or 8:45 p.m. But 7 to 8 p.m. on Tuesdays and Thursdays. On Saturdays, we do a live show, and it is from 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. Eastern. Now, not this Saturday, but next Saturday, we got a good guest coming in, don't we?
Yes, we do.
Oh, who is that guest?
Matt Sieber.
Mr. Matt Sieber, the man, the myth, the legend.
When we talk about his book.
We're going to talk about his book. We're going to talk about some Bigfoot. So definitely tune in to Mr. Matt Sieber. He is an awesome guest.
Yes.
And he will be live here in the studio. So, but then you could also catch us on Saturday nights at WDJY FM. That is 99.1 FM in the Metro Atlanta area. Now, if you're not in the Metro Atlanta area, you can still tune in at WDJYFM.com, or you can go to paranormal411.org and click the link and go right there, right, Jason?
Mm-hmm.
Remember, we're on all podcast platforms. Don't forget the book, East Tennessee Hauntings and Lore, Edition 2. Right there, what Jason's popped up on the screen. And those are our new...
Yeah.
We actually brought the price down for everybody. East Tennessee Hauntings and Lore, Edition 2. You can get that on Amazon, or you go to paranormal411.org, click the link. Join us.
Join us.
So, go ahead.
So,
Jinx,
buy me a Coke.
Peach poke, you owe me Coke. Slapjack, you owe me 6-pack.
So, like David was saying, we're going to be talking about the Unidentified Anomalous Phenomena Exposing the Truth hearing.
Yes.
Or committee meeting.
There's a joint subcommittee hearing in the House.
So they had 4 witnesses, right?
Yes.
Tim Gallaudet.
Yes. And he's a retired Rear Admiral in the U.S. Navy.
Mm.
Yeah.
And we also had Lou Elizondo, which is former ATIP.
Yep.
And who else was it?
Mr. Gold. Mr. Gold is former NASA.
Uh-huh.
So that one was really good.
So we also had some testimony by Michael Schillenberger.
Yes.
He's into cybersecurity, information technology, government innovation, border, all that stuff.
Right. He's written quite a few books and stuff too. So a lot of his stuff came, if you watch it, a lot of his stuff came from confidential sources.
Mm-hmm.
And so, he can talk about
now his
some
written
of the stuff, but he won't talk about everything.
His written testimony is huge.
The longest out of all of them, it is 214 pages of written testimony.
And he's got top secret documents. I don't know if they're top secret, but they've been redacted.
Well, yeah, they've been released to the public.
Redacted.
And redacted to heck and back. Like some pages might only have 1 or 2 lines on it. They even redacted the classifications on them.
Yeah.
Now, a lot of these photos and all of that stuff came from, what's the name of that place online? Dang it, Jason. The Black Vault.
Yeah, the
Black Vault. And if you want to see all kinds of stuff like that, the Black Vault has all of it. I think for 20-something years, he has been going on and getting all kinds of FOIA reports or, filing FOIA claims with the government and getting all these classified documents released. So he's pretty cool.
Hello, Virgil.
Hello, Virgil.
all the way from Manchester,
Awesome.
England.
Hey, how you doing? Man, Manchester, England. What time is it there?
I don't know. It's got to be early morning, maybe.
Maybe this time in the morning? 12 hours?
Maybe.
I don't know.
I don't know.
I'm sure he'll tell us. So we're going to go over a few of the highlights and stuff and, of what happened. And then we're going to kind of, if we have time, we're going to kind of touch up on just some of the stuff that they put in their reports.
Yeah. So we're going to start with Tim Gallaudet,
Yes.
which David said he's a retired Rear Admiral, U.S. Navy, and CEO of Ocean STL Consulting, LLC. So he says that confirmation that UAPs are interacting with humanity came for me in January 2015. He describes being a part of a pre-deployment naval exercise off the U.S. East Coast that culminated in the famous Go Fast video.
Yep.
Everybody's seen that, Go Fast.
Yes. Yeah, you had the Go Fast and then the Tic Tac incident.
Yeah, that was the Navy F-18 jet sensors recorded an unidentified object exhibiting flight and structural characteristics. I can't talk today. Unlike anything
Maybe you need to
in
drink a Coke.
our arsenal. And he was among a group of the commanders involved in the exercise who received an email containing the video, which was sent by the operations officer of the Fleet Forces Command. So he's got some evidence.
Yeah, he does.
But nobody wants to listen. They'll listen, but they'll redact it.
Well, during his testimony, what was pretty neat was that he talked about after one of these incidents, him and the other admirals and stuff, the main guy actually sent them all an email with pictures and stuff like that, right? And of these UAPs. And it said something about, we need to find out if these are ours, if they're not ours, why that they are here doing what it is that they're doing. And, we need to figure this out because, this is a flight risk for our fighter pilots, right? The very next day, he said everybody that got sent to was automatically taken out of their email.
Yeah, it says the very next day the email disappeared from his account.
Yeah, it's gone.
Got redacted.
Yeah, redacted. It got deleted. What was funny though is that he did talk about the fact that he thinks that these things are flight risks. He's not sure exactly what they are, but he does think that they, because of the flight characteristics and stuff of them, that they're not, of this planet.
Well,
same thing Luis Elizondo thinks too.
Yeah.
He's pretty straightforward in what he says, though.
Allison says she was impressed by all the witnesses.
Yes, they were. I don't know. It was pretty good. I mean, it was well worth the 2-hour watch for sure. I mean, it was definitely worth every second of it. And if you haven't, I would say please go online. It's all over YouTube. Go online and watch it. And watch the full 2 hours. I see some of them where they're cut down quite a bit. Watch the full 2 hours because I really like it when Tim Burchett got up there. That's one of our representatives here in Tennessee. He's one really pushing this out there really good too. And he had a lot of really good questions to each of the 4 gentlemen that was up there testifying. And it was amazing. It really was amazing. So now, Elizondo's written testimony was a brief that he alleged that there was a secretive arms race, and this was playing out on a global stage. So he says he wants to be clear on the fact that UAP are real, advanced technologies not made by our government or any other government. They are monitoring sensitive military installations around the globe. And furthermore, the U.S. is in possession of UAP technologies, as are some of our adversaries. Now, he says that...
I believe that.
Yeah.
I believe our adversaries like China and
Russia right.
has got some of this stuff.
Of course. I mean, if we have it, you look at China and Russia, I mean, on that whole continent's a huge continent.
Yeah.
From one end to the other.
I thought China would come out first about UFOs. I don't know why, but I always thought that China would be the one.
Right.
But
I don't think so.
Looks like we are.
I don't know if again, that's another thing that bugs you about these kind of hearings, because like I said, especially with Lou Elizondo, a lot of questions that were asked, because they ask him about biologics. They ask him about stuff. And he says, well, yes, we had biologics that were found. Yes, we had, backwards engineering of materials and of craft. But when they ask him specifics, like who is doing it, what places, are doing this kind of stuff with this materials, I can't tell you. We got to get into a skiff. I can't tell you, I can't say. That's when it starts getting, when some of these people want to get down nitty and gritty and want to actually get to the bottom and to the truth, you just want to wring someone's neck because it's all stop. Yeah. And look, I'm not saying that I don't believe Lou Elizondo at all, because I do.
He's done this for 5 years. I mean, he was the senior ranking officer in the Department of Defense.
Yes.
Threat identification program.
That's right. In ATIP.
Yeah.
Yeah. But at the same time, I think we need to take a step back from a lot of it and look at people like Lou. They did work, in parts of the government where, manipulation of the truth was there too.
Yeah.
Where they would tell half truths and whole lies and mix them together, and you really couldn't tell which is which, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's what he did for the majority of his stint in the military. So could it be a psyop? A lot of people think it is. Where, these people are coming through saying all this stuff. And it's coming through in the same way that where a lot of people are saying this, right? A lot of people have said this is a psyop. It's a psyop. And this is the same way that they were doing it during, Roswell.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. Only Oscar says it's still a lie. Well, and that's the problem, right? I don't know. I'm torn. I really am. I believe that there's UFOs. I believe that they exist 110%. I just don't know if our government really wants to tell us the truth.
Oh, no.
Any part of our government.
No, they don't want to tell us the truth because they're working with them.
Right. Well, it's all money. It's a racket.
Yeah.
I mean, you're making tons and tons and tons and tons of money about this, right? What's his name? Sorry Sorry, everybody. I'm trying to get over here to something real quick. The retired Rear Admiral Tim Galladont, or whatever his last name is, he talked about during his time that they tried to bring him in and convince him that it was all a lie. Convince him that the photos, the videos, everything was a lie. It was all made up. And he testified to this.
Mm-hmm.
And so, it's pretty crazy. And Lou Elizondo said that he even never heard a shoot down order, just footage. Right. Well, I don't think they could shoot one down anyway. Not with conventional weapons anyway.
No.
Not something that Lou even testified. If I'm not mistaken, it was Lou that testified that they did the math, and some of these things were doing over 8,000 miles an hour or something like that.
Yeah.
8 or 10,000 miles an hour or something like that. Yeah, there's no way that we're going to shoot it down. But, and I think they know that. I think that'd be the reason that they wouldn't try to shoot it down. But I don't know. But Lou also talked about the same thing during this. He talked about the fact that, he was put in front of a psychiatrist guy that's all he does is try to manipulate you and everything like that.
Mm.
Yeah. And it's all part of scare tactics. The pilot should have been given the order. Yeah, but that's again, I think that, when you have, for the Tic Tac for sure, the people that were doing all of the on the Navy ships during that Tic Tac incident, you had all the people that were seeing these things going from outer space to a foot above the water all week while they was doing their exercises.
Yeah, they were working with them. I'm telling you, because all the commanders on the ship, every one of them, hush, hush.
Right.
Don't say a word.
Well, and
you didn't see that.
Well, I mean, but David Fravor says that when they came in and told about it, nothing was really done about it.
Yeah, and one of the reports I heard about that, the officers made all the enlisted men come in off the decks while they were out there,
right,
doing their thing.
Right. Yeah.
So, I mean, I think they're working together.
Well, I mean, working with the UAP. Yeah. Well, I mean, it was even said in here, and I don't remember exactly which one, but which one exactly said it, but they said that, and I think it was Gold that said it, but he said that he believes that 90% is our technology. It's the other 10% that we don't know, that needs to be looked at. Roger Welch says, my cousin's commercial pilot, and he's always told to don't say anything. Yeah, and that's the thing is that out of the last one that they had last year, they're supposed to start getting that stigma, kind of taken away from it. What kills me about that, though, is that I don't think it'll ever be taken away because, it's used against them. They say, hey, if you come out and you say this, we're going to put you under psyche evals, and we're going to force you out of being a pilot.
Yeah.
Because they say that these commercial pilots see it just as often as these, the rest of the armed services pilots see it, and maybe even more.
Yeah.
So
I would say more because the first one was seen by a commercial pilot.
Yeah.
Over in Washington, somewhere over in there.
Was that Alaska? Isn't that where they were
No,
giving
it was
UFO?
right before. It was in Northern California or Washington because it was right before Roswell,
Right.
like 2 or 3 days before.
Right. Roger says he sees stuff all the time. Only Oscars ask, did he see stuff? Only Oscars. I sent you an email the other day. I hope you got it. No, and you know what? That is a true statement right there, though. People are not laughing anymore. It is a subject that is now taken more seriously because mainstream media is actually, sitting there talking about it. It's actually making mainstream news, and mainstream newspapers like the Washington Post and, the New York Times and all this stuff. So it's not as much of a fringe topic as what it used to be. You're not having a Washington around the mountains.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah. I know it was around the mountains because that, if I'm not mistaken, that's where they got the name flying saucers, because they said they look like saucers skipping across water or something like that. Because the way they was flying, it was something like that. And I remember the story, but didn't remember where. Thank you. But my computer might boot up one of these days.
Yeah.
Says it's at 100% now.
So the next witness was Michael Gold. Guess who he worked for? NASA.
Yes, Gold. Yes.
He was a former NASA Associate Administrator of Space Policy and Partnerships and a member of the NASA UAP Independent Study Team. I didn't know they had a study team.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they've got their own UAP task force.
So, I ain't going to get into it. So his written testimony stressed the need for government agencies and academics to overcome the stigma that you was talking about earlier with commercial pilots.
Yes.
That continues to impede the scientific discussions and open discussions about unexplained phenomena.
Yes.
He said, as the saying goes, the truth is out there. Gold said, we just need to be bold enough and brave enough to face it.
Right. Yep. And he did say that. And a lot of times when Gold was talking, that's what he was talking about was advancement, of our technology through, being able to look at these technologies. But at the same time, there's got to be the ability for everybody to talk. He says that with everything being so compartmentalized and everything else, that the scientific community is not really getting the ability to look at these things like they should.
So, who was the next one?
Schellenberger.
He had wasn't that the longest one? Like
Yes.
214 pages.
Yes. Right there. Ran 214 pages. His testimony, and you could go online and download all their testimonies. We have, and it's pretty neat. But Schellenberger, he has a timeline of UAP or UFO reports from 47 to 2023. So I don't believe NASA. I knew two guys who worked at two separate facilities. One says it was real. The other says not. Right. Yeah, I don't know. I have problems with some of that stuff myself. We've done shows on it, haven't we, Jason? They say we can't go back to the moon until we figure out how to get past the Van Allen radiation belt, but we've been past it before. So, I don't know. Now, when it comes to this kind of stuff, though, and these kind of things, you've got to kind of go at it with an open mind a bit, because a lot of times what happens is that we in the community expect, them to just come clean and say, yeah, we've been lying and all that stuff, and actually come to the truth. But I just don't think that that's going to happen. I don't think that kind of, thing will happen, at least not right away. Disclosure is going to be something that comes in time through probably tons and tons of these things. And if we actually have a government that keeps poking and prodding like they're doing and trying to come at the forefront. But, one of the other things that was big in this was the fact that they kept talking about the overclassification problems. They overclassify everything. There's actually a classification that it's supposed to be done in a certain way. And these people are way overclassifying things.
Yeah.
And then besides overclassifying things, they're also hiding the classifications. So unless you know the classification, you can't even look it up or look to see if you could even see what it is. And then they hide them behind code names. They hide them. The problem is the bureaucracy itself. But then you have Lockheed and Boeing and all these other companies that are making billions of dollars off of Uncle Sam saying, here's this, test it, and try to recreate it. You're right. Only Oscars, they do not talk to each other. They don't. But that's, because the government has everything so compartmentalized, you just can't. They're not even allowed to talk to each other. Because of this classification to talk to this person, none of these other people have it. It's crazy. Go ahead, Jason.
I was just going to talk about this where Lou Elizondo and that Nancy Mace, she was the chairman of the committee or the hearing, where she asked Lou Elizondo if he said, has the government conducted secret UAP crash retrieval programs? Yes or no? She asked. And Elizondo said yes. And she said, okay, they're designed to identify and reverse engineer alien craft. Yes, Elizondo says. And then she asked him, are you involved were you involved into secret UAP crash retrieval programs? And he couldn't answer it because of the documents that he signed like 3 years ago.
Yeah. NADs.
Yeah. I guess
or
it was
NDAs, I'm sorry.
Yeah, where he couldn't discuss crash retrievals. I thought that's pretty interesting.
Yep. He says he can do it in a skiff, but he cannot do it in public.
So, Representative Jared Markowitz asked Elizondo about the documents he signed with the Defense Department. And here's what he said. You specifically said the document said you can't talk about crash retrievals. And, well, you can't talk about Fight Club if there's no Fight Club. So he was saying there's no crash retrievals.
Well, he was saying that they're saying there's no crash retrievals, but why would they tell you couldn't talk about it if it doesn't exist? Yeah. And Elizondo says, correct.
Yep.
Hold on 1 second and I'll get you exactly what that acronym means. My computer actually started working. But it is a secure, information, something another, I think. It's kind of cool. I've actually watched videos of what a skiff is, and it's a room that is completely sealed off from anything on the outside. And it has no windows because there's ways of listening with lasers through windows, through vibrations. And no windows or anything like that. Well, I thought I was going to be able to look it up. Hold on. I'll just do it better this way.
So it's a room?
It is. A skiff is a secure room or area where sensitive information, so a sensitive compartmented information facility.
So he could talk openly in that room.
Everybody that's in that room has the right clearances to be able to hear what he has to say.
Okay.
And the room is bug proof, listen proof. So no one outside that room could hear what's going on in that room. So what he says can't go outside of that room except for whoever he tells goes and tells someone else.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So it's a sensitive compartmented information facility. He says they have them on the battlefields, and these things are almost like a tractor trailer, like a 53-foot trailer, a box trailer. And then, they're come in all shapes and sizes, just depending on where they are and if they're permanent structures or not. But yeah, that's what a skiff is. Yeah. And you hear him say it all the time.
Yeah.
All the time they say it. And he's not the only one. Well, in this setting, he was about the only one that said it. So go ahead, Jason. I know I interrupted you.
I'm done with Elizondo's confrontations.
Well, they had quite a few with Elizondo.
Yeah. That was the one I wanted to bring up.
Right. I mean, they did with a bunch of them. But Schellenberger, he actually just published a story, Immaculate Constellation. Now, that actually alleged that the government is operating an active and highly secretive, unacknowledged, special access program. So, and this is through the Department of Defense, and the code name of it is called Immaculate Constellation. Now, this is one of the things that they're trying to get through in all of these too, is the fact that how many unacknowledged special access programs are there? How many billions of dollars are going through these things, right? They started the whole thing at the very beginning of it, talking about how they have never one time, the Pentagon or the Department of Defense has not one time ever passed an audit. Never. Ever. And that really made me mad when I heard that, because I'm thinking, we the people are the one paying for all that. We are paying for it. And that's the first thing that they thought was important to bring out, because we don't even know where the money goes, how much money really goes through it, or anything about it, because they can't pass an audit about any of those things because of all these special access programs. Well, see, special access programs are supposed to go through the government.
Mm-hmm.
They've got to have a way into the government, but the oversight committees and stuff like that are supposed to know about all this stuff, because they've got to know where the money's going.
Mm-hmm.
And but they don't. So that's the other half of what these are about. Not just the fact that are there UAPs? Are there all these other things going on?
Well, where
they're
the money
blowing
went,
money left and right.
and you know how they hide it.
Sure, it's $20 hammer and
also
$500
if they want to, they can purportedly blow up the Pentagon, where all the money, all the papers
yep.
and the receipts and stuff are hidden.
Mm-hmm. Only Oscar says they know where every penny went. I worked for the government.
Yeah, but they don't share it. They should share where it goes.
I do have something that I can say. I can't say who, what, where, when, why, or how. But someone talked to me, and I'm going to try to see if I could get this person. I told them, I said I could get them on the other side of a camera. They don't even have to be on camera. They could be just right there and just have the microphone. But they worked for a specific company that goes in outer space. Not NASA. But they said that UFOs and aliens are 100% real. They know for a fact because they've seen it. You're right. That's exactly why it was. The week before any of that happened, they had lost $1 trillion and they had people in there trying to find it.
Yeah, that was the audit they were having, right?
Yes.
They didn't pass.
Well, they didn't pass because those guys got blown up.
They didn't find it.
And that server got blown up too. Just to know that. But, yeah. Anyway, went off topic just a little bit, but they told me that they know for a fact 100% that they exist and that they're there just from their job duties at this place. I said, please, come on. Please, come on the show. Wouldn't that be awesome?
Yeah.
But, so this immaculate constellation, Schellenberger shared a document with the lawmakers that he described as a whistleblower report about the program. Now, he said that the program uses high quality imagery and other sophisticated tools to capture data about the UAPs. Now, quoting from the report, he said that an F-22 encountered several orbital objects while on patrol in an unmanned place and at an unnamed date. Unnamed place and unnamed date. Because, sources and means. The F-22 broke trajectory and attempted to evade, but was intercepted and boxed in approximately 3 to 6 UAPs. Now, he said that in his testimony, the source added that the source had warned him of tight secrecy controls around the program, and a point was also raised by Mace. So all of those programs have huge amounts of that. So that's another thing that they're looking for, right? More transparency. You think that's going to happen?
I don't know.
In our government?
No. Maybe.
In this military industrial complex, you think it's going to happen? No, it ain't going to happen.
You see what Representative Anna
Luna?
Yeah, said?
What?
Or she just told him if he says Immaculate Constellation, he'd be on a list.
Oh.
And maybe get an FISA warrant.
FISA warrant.
Yeah.
Yeah, she did say it. I remember when she said, well, come at me, bro. Yeah, because it was funny. Before she started talking, she says, I was warned that if I said Immaculate Constellation, that it would put me on a watch list. And she's like, come at me, bro. Yeah, see, Roger's like, nope. Yeah, I really don't think that we will ever get transparency. Not in the way that we think of things being, transparent, right? It'll be like muddy water transparent, I think, because they don't want you to know what they're really doing with taxpayer billions of dollars.
Right.
I mean, I really do believe that that's what it's all about, is funneling money into special access programs and all kinds of other stuff. If they had to be accountable for every penny, like what they should be, but if they were, then they wouldn't be able to do all the other stuff that they do.
Right.
And that's the fact. So you want to talk about or show some of those things that
let me find
Schellenberger. Going into Schellenberger's.
Yeah, here it is.
214 pages. Yes, absolutely. And that's something that the CIA and FBI is really good at, Roger, is making people look crazy. And or what Luis Elizondo actually said, and a few other people have said, they have disappeared people. There are people that have died or have been killed because they were coming out with information or telling people about information. That has actually come out in a couple of these now. I guess this is the second one or third one, but this has come out more than once where they said that the government has killed people. Yes, it is. Oh, are you going to show the... Look at that. You're getting better at this, Jason.
Oh, yeah. So this is in Schellenberger, is that his name?
Schellenberger, yep. That's
his report.
His written testimony, yeah. So their written testimony is at the beginning of it, what they're reading. Now, of course, you only get 5 minutes, so he couldn't read 214 pages, but that's also given to, all the committee members and stuff like that. So, and he's got some crazy stuff.
Get to the pictures somewhere.
See, that's this is John Greenwald. This is something from him, or that was sent to him, and he's the owner of the blackvault.com. I think it is the blackvault.com, and one of his FOIA requests, and how they've started doing a lot of stuff. They said in this thing too, how they're starting to deny a lot of requests. So I think that's what a lot of these are showing is that there's the Black Vault. There it is right there. Let's give credit where credit's due. That's where you go. If you want to look something up, that's definitely the place to go.
So you see where they
redacted
the classification.
Infinite Motor. John Greenwald? Not this John Greenwald. Not that I know of. I'd be lying if I said yes or no on that one, I think. Bird Dog. What's up, Bird Dog? So here's a lot of the classification. See, they even redacted the classification on these things. Oh. Only Oscars watches the Black Vault. So you know who John Greenwald is. A lot of these right here are all from the Black Vault.
Here's reported sightings of UAPs that they've...
Look, they've redacted the whole picture.
Yeah, these were pictures.
And then even at the bottom, classification redacted. So they won't even see you let you see the classification of it. Now here's the Tic Tac Nimitz case. So it actually didn't redact it because it was already released to the general public.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, it was released before it was released.
Right.
It was released way before it was actually released. But that the Nimitz incident was interesting. But you see the amount of redaction here. None. Except for the classification again. But here you go. Pilot reporting. Air crew see the UAP. In this case, they photographed the UAP. And there's the photograph. Oh, wait.
Where?
I guess they look like B's and ones.
Redacted.
Look, there's some more redacted. I don't want you to see these photos.
Here's some photos though right here.
This is some more. Again, I think they always say, means and everything. Only Oscar says good picture. Yeah, the Tic Tac was seen. Yeah, absolutely.
They had the video, right?
Yeah, you have the Tic Tac and the Go Fast and the gimbal videos.
I think this is the gimbal one.
Yeah.
So this is multiple sensors worldwide reporting UFOs.
I think the ones that are redacted are ones that are really high definition.
Yeah.
That they don't want you to see. So if it's a blob, kind of like a blob squatch, when you're talking about Sasquatch pictures, if it's a blob, they're like, oh yeah,
it's blurry. They'll think it's fake.
Yeah, they don't really show anything. So
redacted.
I love the classifications, even redacted. They should have redacted the seals.
So it don't even tell you how many reports the UAPTF has collected. It's been redacted.
Yeah.
Or the number of years.
Mm-hmm. Because they don't want you to know how long it's really, they've really been going on. Eyes on the thing.
Oh, look, they've redacted 1 and 3 on the potential explanations.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, of course it's a weather balloon or weather phenomenon.
Swamp gas.
Yeah. Swamp gas. It's a whale fart.
Ball lightning.
Whale fart.
Plan of action.
Look at this. Plan of action and mouse. Now, why would they have a plan of action if they don't exist?
I don't know.
But obviously, there's no plan of action. It's just a black page.
So it just goes on to tell you some stuff that happened from the Roswell incident. Yeah.
So that's First Lieutenant Walter Halt, right? States that allegedly signed affidavit he was stationed at Roswell Army Airfield as a public information officer and received a call from Colonel William Blanchard, who said he possessed a flying saucer debris, and the material was from outer space and recovered from a crash northwest of Roswell, New Mexico. Never trust our government anymore.
So another affidavit.
I don't know if it's a good thing to trust them.
Affidavit is,
sworn testimony.
Yes.
You could go to jail for that.
From Arthur R. McQuitty, the editor of the Roswell Morning Dispatch, claims that Lieutenant Walter Halt delivered a press release to McQuitty declaring the recovery of a flying saucer. Mm-hmm. And then he said the Roswell Army Airfield next calls him and asked him to, I'm going to say, redact the story to a weather balloon.
That's right. It can't be a flying saucer. Only Oscar's eyes on the thing. You mean on the Tic Tac? Fravor was the one that was there. He didn't take the pictures, but him and another pilot went down to see the Tic Tac because he said he could see it plain as day. And as he was going down towards it, it shot up from the ocean and came towards him at the same trajectory. He said it would have been a head-on collision, and then it just was gone. But yeah, he saw it with his eyes. He said they saw it. It was eyes on and instruments, both.
That's pretty amazing.
Yeah. Is there anything in there that you haven't seen before?
Project Moonstruck.
Moonstruck. What's Project Moonstruck?
It allegedly studies long-range use of frequencies for the purpose of stimulating of the brains of targets.
What does that sound like? When was that? What year?
1952. I was trying to find a little bit more recent.
You're still in the 50s.
Mm-hmm.
That's why this thing's over 200 pages. '60s.
Let's get up to at least the 2000s.
If you like reading a lot of this stuff, there's the 80s. I would definitely say go on and download these written testimonies from all four of these men, because now the majority of them are only a couple pages, but now Schellenberger went above and beyond. He wanted to make a point, I think.
So here's a few. We'll start in 2019.
So, and this is actually says that it's in public domain. You gonna share again? Nope, that's not the right one.
Oh, let me find it.
It's right above it. There's the one on top. Right there. No, that's not it. That's it. Yes. Written till it. There we go. So read it, Jason.
So April 30th, 2019, Earth Tech and Aerospace Corp physicist Eric Davis states that there have been crashes of UAP and reverse engineering programs are stovepiped into very small, underfunded efforts controlled by legacy aerospace corporations.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So he alludes that he or his ATIP colleagues who were told of crash recovery alien biology programs in skiffs, there's that word again, with those aware of the programs, but suggest ATIP was not read into these programs. They were red lines they were made aware of and told of the generalities of in skiffs. So he suggests that some executives at aerospace firms know of the programs, and at least one was funded in 1989, according to him.
Yep. What did Roger say? Graveyard and then lost. Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
So
you remember that?
I do. The Aurora, Texas. Now that one was interesting because when it happened, this was before anything. They thought it was an airship coming in. And then when it crashed, it landed, or it crashed, it hit, what was it? The, can't even think of it now. Windmill. It hit the windmill at that farm and crashed. And then, like he said, they buried the body in there and actually gave it a Christian burial. And what happened is that, skip forward somewhere in the 1900s, mid to late 1900s, I think it's like 70s, 80s, maybe 80s or something like that. People went there and started wanting to dig it up to get to the body. And what they did is that the townsfolk took the body, moved it, and then took the headstone away. So people couldn't find it anymore. Because it's supposed to be buried by like a large tree or something like that. And then they moved it, I think. Because I watched a program where people went in and actually had GPR. So ground penetrating radar, and was trying to find this body. Interesting, right?
It is.
Yeah.
Well, we'll do one more. Let's see. A lot of it's Lou Elizondo.
Mhm. Yep.
So June 25th, 2020, U.S. Navy Commander Will Miller states he believes we have our own transluminal velocity craft that go anywhere in space and time. That's pretty wild, ain't it?
So it's a time machine.
So he states that there are probably multiple controlled groups, each covering certain aspects of the UAP issue. One for crash retrievals, another for collecting reports, another for oversight. There are a limited number of contractors who could do this. So he thinks it's our stuff.
Well, Gold said that he thinks it's 90%.
Yeah.
90% is us and the rest is them. So, I mean, or is other than, because like he said, you know, that other 10% or so is unknown completely. The airframes are unknown. How they stay aloft is unknown. They can't see any type of propulsion system. That's also an unknown. And so those are the ones that they're like, don't know. You know, Lou Elizondo said that they exhibit things that our known craft cannot do. An F-16, he said it may be an older plane, but at the same time, it's one of our best planes. I don't know how it is better than an F-22 because, but anyway, but he says it could take up to like a Mach 14 before it just starts ripping itself apart, coming apart at the seams. But they said that these UAPs, the maneuvers that they've seen them do, and they said that a human body after 9 Gs can start having tremendous adverse effects. They said that these UAPs, he said, are doing in excess of 100 Gs. He said we don't have any technology that could do it, that he knows of. Anyway, that could do 100 Gs and stay together. There's no controlled surfaces, so there's no wings, no known propulsion system, because on any FLIR or anything else that's, you know, ever been on these things, you cannot see anything on them that shows that there's a propulsion system. I don't know. It's pretty amazing to me. You got one more?
One more, George Knapp.
Oh, George Knapp.
2023, he said a former senior manager at EG&G, which is a defense contractor that managed Area 51, told him they had a flying saucer recovered in New Mexico and also had a live being, which looked human. Kind of like Ross Perot and not the classic gray alien.
Ross Perot is an alien.
Yep.
You've heard it here first. Oh my God. That's hilarious.
Well, I guess that's it.
Yes. That is
We've
the
been
end of
here
the show.
about an hour, so
We have. I want to thank everybody that showed up and listened to us ramble tonight.
ramble.
We rambled on. But I don't know. I think that you know, when it comes to things like this and our government, you know, or parts of our government trying to get disclosure, try to get, you know, I don't know, try to get everything that they're doing with this,
Yeah.
you know, transparency is one of the main things that I think they're shooting for. Oversight on some of these spending problems that our government has is another one of them. So, I think that we should definitely show our support to these men and women that are fighting this fight, and appreciate them for what they do. For sure.
Yeah.
I mean, I do. But I want to thank everybody that listened to us ramble tonight. Right, Jason? Are you going to do a commercial before we leave?
Yeah.
Are you?
Yeah, I'm going to play the commercial before we leave.
Stay tuned for the commercial. But again, thanks everybody. Only Oscars. I don't think you heard me earlier, but I sent you an email. Did you get that? Hopefully. Old chicken face. Roy. Roger. That's funny. But if you got my email, send us your address, please. So we can sign a book and send it to you. We would really like to do that. But again, thanks everybody. Thanks for your time. Thanks for your patience. And we'll see you Saturday.
Yes, Saturday.
Now, did we already sign up for starting next year for our
Yes.
first conference?
Yes, first. It's in May. I think it's May the 3rd. It's on a Saturday. It's the Smoky Mountain Bigfoot Festival.
Oh, yeah. We had fun last year after it
Townsend,
stopped
Tennessee.
raining and became a sloppy mess after sun came back out.
Yeah, hopefully it doesn't rain next year.
Yeah. Yeah, that was annoying. That was the only annoying part of it. But we went out with all of our equipment and we did
interviews.
We did interviews, live interviews. Last year we had a great time. I want to thank everybody that allowed us to interview them, and that's all up on YouTube, isn't it, Jason?
Yeah, that's on YouTube.
Yeah. So definitely go check it out. We had a good time. All right. Have a good night.
All right. We'll see you Saturday.
In the heart of Madisonville, Tennessee, lies a pizzeria like no other. Step through the door of Legends and Lore Pizzeria and be transported to a realm where paranormal and cryptid encounters, along with mouth-watering pizza, go hand in hand. Meet Eddie and his crew, who serve up slices of the supernatural along with the best pies in town. With the walls adorned with eerie artifacts, indulge in piping hot slices that melt in your mouth and tease your taste buds. And it's not just the locals who love the incredible pizza. Legends and Lore has been selected as the best pizza joint in all of Monroe County. As lovers of everything pizza and the paranormal, the owners have mastered the art of crafting unforgettable combinations that will leave you wanting more. To stay connected with this mystical eatery, follow Legends and Lore Pizzeria on Facebook, where tales of their latest creations and upcoming specials will be shared. Make sure to browse their custom menu, featuring legendary pizzas like the Chupacabra Ranch and the Exorcist. So, whether you have an appetite for the supernatural or simply seek the best pizza in town, Legends and Lore is the place to be. Come for the unforgettable flavors, stay for the captivating stories, and find yourself in a world where legends and pizza collide.
What if the world we know is merely a fraction of reality? What if there are forces, entities, and phenomena that exist just beyond our comprehension in the shadows of the unknown? Welcome to Paranormal 411, your gateway to the unexplained and the downright chilling.
Get ready to rock with the electrifying sound of Catalyst, a band that's sure to leave you wanting more. With their powerful lyrics and killer riffs, Catalyst is a great sound in the world of rock music. You can listen and find Catalyst on Bandcamp, or go to the link at paranormal411.org and click on their banner.